Today, I'm excited to introduce Juliette, who is going to share with us the importance of accepting yourself. Juliette joined the Upland community in 6th grade. Her favorite sport is ice hockey, her favorite color is pink, and her favorite food is Annie's mac and cheese. So please give Juliette a warm welcome. Good morning, Dr. Hickey, Mr. Gallagher, Mr. Patterson, faculty, and fellow students. Ever since I came to Upland, my 9th grade speech has always been in the back of my mind. In the past, the most popular topics for the 9th graders to talk about were sports, their family, or a specific and meaningful event in their lives. That's not what I wanted to do. I'm not saying these things aren't important topics, but for me, I knew that when the time came, I wanted to discuss something that not only described me, but it would leave a mark on Upland. I wanted my topic to give people an insight into my life while also sharing a lesson I learned that made me the person I am today. As soon as I heard the speech topic for this year, the importance of, I immediately knew I wanted to talk about my struggles with perfectionism and my growing understanding of accepting things that aren't always perfect. Whether you are one or not, being a perfectionist is something many of you may be familiar with. For me, being a perfectionist is my biggest strength because it gives me a lot of motivation, but it is also my biggest weakness. It can be a positive trait when it causes me to reach for the stars and not settle for anything less. However, it can make me believe that I can't make mistakes. And it isn't an option for me to come up short from the impossibly high standards I set for myself. I grew to believe that my self-worth was based on performing perfectly in all aspects of my life. Whether I was trying something for the first time or doing something I had done many times before, I needed to excel. You won't believe the amount of times I've rewritten this speech. But as I've grown older, I've realized that perfectionism won't ever cause you to be perfect. It just makes you deny your failures, and it keeps you stuck on things that you could be moving on from. Learning to accept when things don't go your way lets you appreciate what you have and enjoy it. And the more I reflect on this, the more I realize how much happier I've become as I have accepted that my life will never be perfect. The definition of acceptance is to believe or come to recognize something as valid or correct. While many people can interpret this in different ways, I view acceptance as something that clicks at some point in your life. No matter who you are, acceptance is always there, but your willingness to turn to it and to use it to enhance your life depends on the person. For me, the people in my life, and one specifically who I'll talk about, helped me so much in finding myself and living my life to its fullest. As I said in the past, if I made a mistake, it would cause me to only have negative thoughts about myself, but now I have trained myself to see these as opportunities for growth. While before I viewed acceptance as giving up, I now view it as keeping a positive outlook on life. As I play more hockey, I have more good games, but I also have more bad games. And more times than not, I step off the ice thinking about all the plays that I could have done better. However, one of my hockey coaches, Mr. Swarter, has been so influential in teaching me the importance of accepting things. He is one of the most important people in my life because he's not only helped me get better at hockey, but has been a huge part in me becoming a better human being as well. In one of our first games in my 7th grade season, I wasn't playing my best, and Mr. Swarter knew that I was down on myself. Every time I would come on the bench, all the mistakes I had made were racing through my head, and all I could think about were the things that I could have done better. He then told me that I was the only one still thinking about my mistakes, and all I could do was move on. He said I needed to reset myself and that I had to accept that not all pucks are going to bounce my way. But what will help me the most is keeping a positive attitude and having fun. As soon as he told me that, I cleared my head and I looked forward to my next shift. I got out there, I had some fun, and I scored. I think about this moment whenever I get too worked up about something, and most of the time it's not even hockey related. He's told me that life is so much easier when you're having fun, and being stuck on the bad things isn't worth your attention. Whether it's accepting that not all days are going to be good, or being okay with the fact that your best today may not be as good as your best from last week, it's important to realize that it's okay to not be good at something sometimes, but you have to try your best. That's what matters. For all my life, I had this invisible pressure on me that made me believe that everything in my life had to be perfect. I thought that I would let everyone down if I made mistakes. But as I make more mistakes in my life, I realized that this pressure I had on myself never existed, and it was only in my head. People are meant to make mistakes, and they're meant to learn from them. Failing at things never held me back, but being stuck on them and not looking forward did. Setting achievable goals instead of impossible ones has helped me grow even more, and it makes accomplishing them feel even that much better. Don't get me wrong, I still oftentimes work myself up, but the more I overcome my perfectionism, the easier my life gets. While many of you may not remember my exact speech, I want you to always know that it's okay to fail, because that's not what defines you. What shows your true character is how you move forward after that failure. As Nathaniel Braden once said, the feeling that I'm enough doesn't mean that I have nothing to learn, nothing further to achieve, and nowhere to grow. It means that I accept myself, and I'm not on trial in my own eyes, that I value and respect myself. This is not an act of indulgence, but an act of courage. Thank you.